happening, everyone? Welcome. Today is Tuesday. It's August 16th, 2022. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Gad, and whoever else is hanging out. John, good morning to you. Anybody catch that? Me not being awake enough to do things the right way. When take the lens cap off, I went, oh, I haven't run the countdown timer yet. Oops. Good morning, Dennis. Dennis is driving to the office, but for the only time this week. Woo! That wasn't a very good woo, but best we're going to get right now. Good morning, Jenny. I want to thank everyone that showed up for the Patreon hangout last night. It was a little rough around the edges, but next time we've got a better way of doing it. We're going to do it on Zoom. So just a reminder to those of you who are not part of the Patreon, you can join. Still, it's open. Patreon.com/whistlekick. We're going to do it, what was it, September 7th, Wednesday, September 7th. And I will post the info in Patreon a little bit before. So there we go. Good morning, Frank and Andy and Brian. Hope everybody had a great Monday. I want to hear all about your Monday. Tell me about your Monday. Hopefully you're telling me that at some point you listened to Angelo Matei's martial arts radio episode. But other than that, I want to know all the other stuff that I haven't heard. Good morning, Liz. Look at everybody coming in. What did I do yesterday? Meetings. Washed the car that was returned. Watched some TV. Cut my hair. Have a good one, Andy. Brian has today off. It's a holiday. Bennington Battle Day. It's a Vermont thing. Jenny listened to Master Matei's episode. I'm not surprised about that. I'm sure you loved it. He's a good guy. And I want to know what you're doing today. I'm recording. I think we got 3 episodes on the docket for today. And I'm looking forward to it. Believe it or not, hopefully this is what's happening because there's no space in there. We've built up enough of a buffer that I'm taking September, the next time we would be recording, off. I'll be recording, I think it's the last Tuesday of September. Oh, man, I'm yawning aggressively. It's the Tuesday I come back from being away. So this will be my last day recording for 6 weeks. Jenny says she also got a bunch of stuff done for an upcoming awesome Master Hopkick thing. Frank went for a much-needed swim yesterday. That's great. Got to chat with Frank a little bit last night at the Patreon hangout. We actually talked about technique last night, more than we do on just about anything else. My grass was cut yesterday. The landscaper did the best job he's ever done. Still not great, but good. I'm trying to give him some positive reinforcement. He doesn't like to get off the mower, although he actually did use the weed whacker yesterday and got most of it. But he doesn't like to get off the mower. He likes to do as much as he can from the mower, so he tends to run over some of my plants, which I'm not thrilled about. But that's okay. Good morning, Tommy. What else can I tell you? Had a wonderful chat with a kind of a grandma sort of figure in my life. She's 92, very, very smart. And I enjoy talking to her because she can add perspective. You know, we talk about current events and science and philosophy, and she's just such a wonderful person. You know, in martial arts, we hold up those who came before. We respect elders, usually because age and rank correlate to some degree. But outside of martial arts in Western society, we don't do that. We tend to look down on older people. And I've never understood that. If you want to make the same mistakes that other people, sure, go ahead, ignore the warnings. But I don't. I like having the ear of older folks. Doesn't mean all of them are equally qualified to advise me on everything. But I want to know what they have to say. Somebody out there ordered a couple whistlekick mugs. Thank you. Don't forget, you can get, I don't know if this one's up there anymore, but we've got mugs. We've got a bunch of stuff at whistlekick.com. You can use the code First Cup 15. Here, let me put a banner up that says it. That's how you support us. First Cup 15. Send Andrew something to review for free training day. What else? I don't remember what else. I really don't. Yeah. We may have to flip into the stuff Frank sent over pretty soon because my brain is not with me. I liked hanging out last night, but I'm spent. I am spent. I have a meeting this morning with Justin at 8, and then I've got a couple hours off, and I'm probably just going to spend that time doing very little. I might start to pack for my trip to go see Gabe and Jenny because that doesn't use a lot of brain power. I don't have a lot, and I got to save it for the shows. 4G episodes. What are you doing today? Anything fun? I have to get out of the house. I didn't leave the house yesterday other than to be outside briefly. Go for a walk or something. Get some movement, some exercise. Frank says, I used to wonder about why I get along so well with older women. And then one day it suddenly occurred to me, they're not on their phone all the time. They know how to have a real conversation. Yeah. It's a good point. Not everyone knows how to have a conversation. Not everyone knows how to remain focused. This is going to keep happening, so bear with me. For, to maintain attention for, a couple minutes at a time, or heaven forbid, an hour. I was on the phone with her. Her name is Dara. I was on the phone with Dara for an hour. Conversation doesn't drag. I do feel pulled to look at my phone, and sometimes I give in, but it is interesting, right? Like this tension, and the way that it trains us. I've had instances where I'm waiting for a call or an email, or just as I'm putting my phone in my bag, if I'm going to a class or a seminar, I see something come in that I don't have time to respond to, but it creates stress knowing that it's hanging there. I don't like how technology has trained me in that way, but it is the reality of what's happened. Maybe at some point I need a technical detox, but with employees and all the things we have going on, I'm not at a place in my life where I can do that. I will say, though, for all the downsides, I'm glad we have what we have, because if we didn't have it, I wouldn't be talking to you. Coffee is good. Put a little more in there. I feel like there was something else. What else? No. I got nothing else. Frank gave us something to talk about. So let's jump into that. Here we go. Oh, got to scroll back to the top. Oh, that's the top. Anydayguy.com tells us that today is Thai Peace Day. You know what? I haven't heard Thai language spoken enough to know how I would pronounce this. So I'm just going to read it phonetically with English, and butcher it. Wan Santiphap Thai is observed on August 16th each year. It was established in 1995 to commemorate the end of hostilities in the Second World War, as well as to honor the members of the Free Thai movement who helped the Allies fight against Japan, despite the fact that Thailand had an alliance with the Empire of Japan. And the website MuayThaiCitizen.com reports that after World War II, the popularity of Muay Thai exploded. It was when the major stadiums were built in the largest cities, such as Bangkok and Chaing Mai. The fabled Rajadamnern and Lumpinee Stadiums were built and opened in the mid-1900s. They were revered and treated as almost like the holy place of Muay Thai. That I did not know. That's interesting. This surge in popularity would continue on in the following decades. The 50s, 60s, and 70s would all be highlighted by the tremendous growth of the sport. Since the sport has grown massively in popularity, more people than ever before were practicing it. What this means was that the talent level of the fighters also grew exponentially. It all led to the coming of the so-called golden age of Muay Thai. This period lasted roughly from the early 80s to the late 90s. Perhaps the most significant thing about this time is that it produced a lot of the greatest warriors in Muay Thai history. The most skilled and the most charismatic fighters flourished in this age. Today, Muay Thai is at the height of its popularity on a global level. Never has the sport seen as many practitioners and followers in so many countries around the world. The level of competition is high and the tournaments have grown in number. There might be some issues in Thailand about the role that gambling plays in the sport. Overall, however, the sport seems headed in the right direction. Muay Thai continues to evolve and produce more skilled fighters and practitioners. Internationally, the sport's never been bigger. Practitioners of mixed martial arts have incorporated it into their skill sets. Some even use it as their base martial art, especially for their striking, since they find it to be effective and practical at the same time. Now, I don't know where I picked up this statistic, and I will not commit to its validity, but somewhere along the way, I read that the average career for a pro Muay Thai fighter is 2 years because it's so brutal. I see that as both an asset and a liability. It's a shame when you start to see that the best of something can't keep doing it. What would pro football or basketball look like if the best players were out in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? I know football's got a pretty short average career. I think it's 4 years, but that's because there are so many people who wash out. It's an intense sport, and the training is intense. It is a brutal lifestyle, and unless you're making a whole bunch of money, you can look at it and say, you know, there are better ways for me to make money without ruining my body for the rest of my life. Jenny's responding to my comment before I read this. I'm curious if I could do a full technical detox. My cell is the only phone I have. The closest I come to tech detoxing is setting my do not disturb, which I can program to allow calls and texts from my kids and Matt in case of emergencies. When I had my IT company, between employees and clients, I was able to tell people, hey, I'm taking some time off. And they really respected it. It was nice. This is one of the things I think that is an asset to doing business in small towns versus, maybe being in a larger area. Just culturally, we like each other. We want, somebody's taking time off. I don't want to burden them. And I also had people backing me up. So it was, when I would leave, I would make sure we had a plan for payroll and everything. And other than that, everything else could be handled. And if at least some of the team had been around long enough that they knew what I would want to do, and they would just do it, and we'll figure it out when I come back. And every single time I went away, and I never quite fully wrapped my head around this, but financially the company did very well. And I kept threatening, maybe I'll just stop coming in. And they didn't want that. They wanted me around. I don't know. It was funny. I have considered going to the electrical panel and just turning off the breaker box. Just for a day or two, just to not have any of that. We'll see. I'm also thinking about getting an RV, which I could rent, but I could also hide in. Could be my escape cabin. Who knows? Gad's working on a comment. Don't you hate when you hit return instead of the space bar? There we go. I can't talk. I really am tired. I slept very well, but not long enough. It happens. All right. I'm gonna let Gad finish his comment, and then I'm gonna go because I'm out of stuff to say. You guys aren't terribly talkative today, and that's all right. I'm not upset. I'm not judging. This is the reality of our show. I don't want to just drag things out. We have times where we go, 35 minutes because we have good stuff going. Sometimes we don't. It's okay. Remember, if you want to support whistlekick.com, no, this one, whistlekick.com, use the code FIRSTCUP15. The Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. Yes, even if the $2 tier, you can get in on the Hangouts. And I think they're going to become a monthly thing, assuming people show up. If people don't show up, we won't do them. But I could tell last night that switching what we were doing over to Zoom is going to be a lot of fun. And of course, you've got the family page, which I did update yesterday, whistlekick.com/family. The only martial arts morning show, live at 6:30, 5 days a week. Brian says, I'm going back to sleep after the show today. I woke up for everyone only. Oh, that's so sweet. Dennis is driving. Oh, I know you're driving, my friend. It's okay. Gad says, I found that I'm not able to really sit down and engross myself in a movie a lot of times. Dual screen issues. Have to force myself to put the phone or iPod down. I can relate to that. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you tomorrow. I hope you do something great for yourself. Hope you enjoy things. And I'm going to go chill out and record 3 episodes. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.